Continuing the Kerem Navot story, we are in Melachim Aleph, Perek Chaf Aleph, Pasuk Yud Zayin. Vayitvar Hashem el Eliyahu hatishpi le'mor. Now Hashem is finally going to react to the narrative with Navot, Achav, and Izebel. And he says to Eliyahu, the Navi of Malchut Yisrael at the time, Kum reid likrat Achav melech Yisrael asher b'Shomron. Go and greet Achav, the king of Israel, who's now in Shomron. Interesting that during the whole trial of Navot, Achav was in Shomron as opposed to in Israel. Perhaps once again intimating to us that he actually had some knowledge of the trial and just wanted to leave, so he couldn't be blamed. And God continues to Eliyahu, Hinei b'kerem Navot, behold, Eliyahu Achav is right now in the vineyard of Navot, asher yarad sham lirishto, he went down there to inherit it. V'dibarta elav le'mor, and you need to say to Achav, Ko amar Hashem, this is what God has said, Haratzachta v'gam yarashta, have you managed to murder and now also stand to inherit? V'dibarta elav le'mor, and then say to Achav, Ko amar Hashem, this is what God has said, Bimkom asher lakaku haklafim et dam Navot, in the place where the dogs licked the blood of Navot, Yaloku haklavim et damcha gam ata. The dogs will also now come to lick your own blood. So first of all, this phrase, Haratzachta v'gam yarashta, begs the question, does that mean that God assumes that Achav is actually guilty in the murder of Navot? Because based on the text, it seems as if Achav didn't even know that Navot was murdered or how he was killed to begin with. But Hashem seems to be blaming him and finding him culpable in the murder of Navot. And then Hashem is basically saying that because you killed Navot and then tried to inherit his vineyard, the dogs will lick your blood the same way Navot's blood was licked, again implying some type of a midah keneged midah. Vayomer Achav el Eliyahu, as Achav sees Eliyahu approaching him, he says to him, Habitzatani oivi, hey enemy, have you seen me? Clearly implying that there's not a fabulous relationship between Eliyahu and Achav. Vayomer, and Eliyahu answers him, Matzati, yes, I have found you. Yan hitmakercha la'asot hara be'enei Hashem, because you are only comfortable and you only do what is evil in God's eyes. Hineni mevi elecha ra'a, I will bring upon you evil. Ubi'arti acharecha, and it will burn after you. V'hichrati la'achav, and I will destroy, coming from the word karet, I will destroy from Achav mashtin bakir. Very strange choice of words, very derogatory way of referring to males. I will destroy from Achav's household all male descendants. V'atzur v'azuv Yisrael, and they will be poor forever. V'natati et beitcha kebeit Yeravam ben Nevat, and what happened to Yeravam's household will happen to yours. Ukebeit Ba'asha ben Achia, and also what happened to Ba'ashaz and Yeravam. So if you remember, we spoke about this. Yeravam's kingdom ended when another dynasty rose to power and threw a coup overthrowing the previous dynasty. He's implying that the same thing will now happen with Achav. El haka'as hasher hichasta, because of the anger that you caused, v'tachtia Israel, and because you caused Bnei Israel to sin. Again, is this referring to the sin of the false trial? Is it referring to the sin of Avodah Zarah in the first place? Unclear. But don't worry, Achav, Eliyahu will continue. V'gam Izebel, Izebel also is going to have her fair share of punishment. Diber Hashem lemor, God has spoken about her as well. Haklavim yochlu et Izebel, the dogs will eat Izebel, b'chel Yisrael, in the valley of Yisrael. Hamet la'achav ba'ir, whoever from Achav's family dies in the city, yochlu haklavim, the dogs will eat you. V'hamet pasadeh, but whoever should die in the field, yochlu of hashamayim, the birds will prey on you from the skies. And then we're told, Rak lo haya ke'achav asher hitmaker la'asot hara be'enei Hashem. There never was someone as evil as Achav who had planned to do bad in the eyes of God. Asher hisata oto Izebel ishto, like Izebel who deceived Achav. Vayat ev ma'od alechet acharei hagilulim. He continued with disgust to follow after all the idolatry in the land. Kechol asher asu hamori asher harish Hashem b'nei bnei Israel. Just like the initial Canaanite nations had done when they first influenced Bnei Israel upon their arrival in the land of Israel. Vayhi kishma Achav ed hadvarim ha'ela. As soon as Achav heard essentially his sentence of capital punishment, vayikra begadav, he tears his clothes, vayasem sak al bisaro, he puts sackcloth on his skin, vayatzom, and he fasts, vayishkav basak, and he lies down in the ashes and in the floor, vayahalech ad, and he moves very slowly. So all of these acts that Achav is doing seems like he is showing some signs of avelut. Now, if he is showing avelut, it's telling you he's in mourning. But the question is, how does Hashem take this reaction of Achav? Once again, Hashem goes to Eliyahu and he says, do you see how Achav has surrendered before me? Because Achav surrendered before me, showing me all these signs of desperation and mourning. Hashem says, I will not bring the evil during his days, but it will begin only in the days of his son. So Hashem doesn't forgive Achav completely, but he certainly seems to delay the punishment to Achav.